The Jonas brothers are here. They're out there somewhere. Sasha and Malia are huge fans, but boys don't get any ideas. I have two words for you: predator drones. You will never see it coming. You think I'm joking?
And the Lord Yahweh answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2 and 3. Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash, and double honors to our venerable apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings to the Lord's elect, the house of David. It's the brother Haran coming back at you with a lesson, Lord willing, to be edifying and uplifting unto the elect. And I believe today is the 15th of January 2025, the hopeful year of our deliverance and the destruction and judgment on Esau. All right. And I want to go into a lesson focusing more on what is yet to come. All right. Here it is. We're in 2025, and the first 15 days has been nothing but judgments. Okay. Nothing but heavy judgments that pretty much are all the beginning of sorrows, as is written by Yahushua, is spoken of in the book of Matthew. Okay, the beginning of sorrows, right? So going into this, I'm going to title this "The Siege of Jerusalem in Babylon." Okay, the Siege of Jerusalem in Babylon. So we could do Siege of Jerusalem 2.0. All right, in Babylon, but I'll see how I title it after. But it's going to be focused more on these concentration camps and so on and so forth. All right. And that's all going into the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay. Now I've seen a couple of videos that the elder Manad Sagba has been doing I think the past couple of days. I've yet to watch them, but I saw the title, and it was going into pretty much people scoffing about Jacob's trouble. Okay. But the reality, the reality is that, Jacob's trouble has been prophesied for thousands of years, okay? And the reality is actually setting in, all right, in these last days, okay? That Esau is not playing with you, Jakes, especially now that you're waking up to who you are. You might want to take these words very, very seriously, because it's a covering cast, all right? This truth, okay, is as is written in Isaiah 33:6, right? That this truth, this wisdom, this knowledge is going to be the stability of our times, or in these times. Okay, it's going to be our stability in these times and strength of salvation. Okay, so if you decide you're not going to take this word seriously, ultimately it's the Lord who put that reprobate spirit on you, which is a sad case for you. But you might want to take this word seriously, at least to a degree. All right, because it could save your life. Okay, it will save your life if you believe. That's if you're the elect. All right, but let's get into this real quick. Okay. The title of the article says, Halliburton confirms sea camps already constructed. This is by FEMA. All right. I'm just leave it at that. Okay. And it says, on February 17, 2006, in a speech to the Council on Foreign Relations, Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld spoke of the harm being done to the country's security, not just by the enemy, but also by what he called or calls, quote, news informers, end quote, who needed to be combated in a, quote, contest of wills, end quote. It says in 2002, Attorney General John Ashcroft announced his desire to see camps for U.S. citizens deemed to be, quote, enemy combatants, end quote. Okay, so as I read through this article, you're going to see a lot of you're going to hear a lot of words that are being used today in the mainstream media. Okay. Again, conditioning you, right? While they're what's the word? Programming you, but there's a specific word for it. They're priming you. Okay. Priming the masses, all right, to get used to these kind of terminologies. So once it's associated with them, it'll be easy to swallow. Okay. Once they start calling people these names, it's not going to be a foreign thing because you've been hearing it this whole time. Now it's just become reality. All right. No more conspiracy theories. It's just reality. And that's when a lot of people are going to start seeking the men of the Lord. But you're not going to find us. Okay. The trouble is already here. All right. As a matter of fact, let's get a quick precept before we go into it. Okay. Because the warning is going out, but only the elect are going to actually hear it and be saved. Okay. There's a book of Ezekiel chapter 33 and verse 1. It says, "Again, the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people," right? The Israelites, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. That's who the message is primarily going for, especially here in America, Babylon the Great. Okay. And it says, "And say unto them, when I bring the sword upon a land, if the people of that land or of the land take a man of their coasts and set him for, Salaki, let me read that again. When I bring the sword upon a land, if the people of the land take a man of their coasts and set him for their watchman, if when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people," right? That's exactly what we're doing, right? Giving you the warning. "Then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and taketh not warning," right? The 2/3, right? It says, "How long shall ye simple ones love simplicity?" Right? When you hearing this warning going out, you coming out here scoffing, and those people, hey, your judgment is prepared for you and is coming quickly. Okay, like Trump said, like Trump always says, very quickly, right? So continue. It says, if when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people, then whosoever heareth the word or the sound of the word of the trumpet and taketh not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head." Okay. He heard the sound of the trumpet and took not warning. So the prophets were out there. You heard it. You just didn't listen. All right. It didn't mean anything to you. All right. As a matter of fact, you actually had a problem with it that you came and scoffed. Fools. It says, "His blood shall be upon him, but he that taketh warning shall deliver his soul." That's the elect. All right. Every one of us heard these words going out. All right. The Lord threatening, all right, Babylon and its inhabitants and the wicked. And we say, oh, we don't want to be a part of that. So how do we receive salvation and get out of the way of that destruction? Well, that's through Yahushua, the deliverer. Okay. So then how do we get that? We have to believe on him. All right. In order to believe on him, you got to know him. So he sent his prophets, starting with our elders and apostles of Great Millstone on down. And now we've received the words of salvation. And now we wait for our Savior to come and deliver us. That's it. Okay. So continuing, it says, where we at? Right. "But if the watchmen see the sword come and blow not the trumpet," right? If we don't do our jobs, if we don't warn, right? If we see these articles and hearing these words that these devils are saying and seeing these videos that they're putting themselves out there doing, and we don't bring it out and give you warning, then this is our judgment. It says, "But if the watchmen see the sword come and blow not the trumpet, and the people be not warned, if the sword come and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at the watchman's hands." Right. So if you get taken, you are meant to be taken. You're going to be destroyed. But see, now we have an answer to give because we didn't give you the warning. So though you were wicked and you got wiped out, we still going to be questioned because we didn't give that warning at least for you to hear it. And that's why the Lord is going to question these false prophets out there in the IUIC. Okay. Constantly, the biggest prophecy coming, which is the MOTB, And through that is where you're going to see pretty much what I'm about to read. Okay, because a lot of people are going to come against that, and they have situations set up to quell whatever resistance is going to be coming up very soon. Okay, but the IUIC is not warning people about it. Okay, so by you neglecting to do that, right, sounding the alarm or blowing the trumpet, your congregation, for the most part, they're going to get wiped out. Okay, but the Lord is going to require their blood at your hands. All right, so always keep that in mind, man. Keep that in mind. It says, verse 7, so thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore thou shalt hear the word at my mouth and warn them from me. That's is also written in Ezekiel 3:17. All right, one of my favorite precepts. All right. It says, when I say unto the wicked, O wicked man, thou shalt surely die, if thou dost not speak to warn the wicked from his way, that wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. Okay, so there you go. All right, but let's jump right back into the article. All right, it's quite lengthy, so I better get to it. All right, it says, a Defense Department document entitled The Strategy for Homeland Defense and Civil Support has set out a military strategy against Teaism that envisions, quote, an active, layered defense, both inside and outside U.S. territory. In the document, the Pentagon pledges to, quote, transform U.S. military forces to execute homeland defense missions in the U.S. homeland. The strategy calls for increased military reconnaissance and surveillance. How they gonna do that? Got AI. Okay? It says the Washington Post reported on February 15th, 2006, that this is 2006. All right? We're in 2025. So almost 20 years ago. Okay? And a lot of it, some of the information that we're going to read goes all the way back to even 2003. So over 20 years ago. Okay? It says the Washington Post reported on February 15, 2006, that the National Counter-Teaism Centers, NCTC, Central Repository holds the names of 325,000 T suspects. And this is a fourfold increase since the fall of 2003. So just 3 years, they went from about 80,000 or so, 81,000, right? Because it says fourfold, right? 325 or 325,000 divided by 4 is probably going to be like 81 something. All right, 80 something, 81, 80 something. All right, but that's from 81 or 80,000 people all the way to 325,000 in 3 years. And they've been put on the TIS suspects list. That was all the way back in 2006. Okay, so almost 20 years later, what? Yo, hey, that's why a few years ago I did a lesson on it. All right, that the DHS has labeled over 90% of American citizens as domestic T's. 90%. So now you see. All right, and a domestic T is basically somebody who just opposes the NWO agenda. All right, once they start pushing it, what you see with Cali and all them, all right, they're going to start doing more. All right, it's almost like once one is going down, the next thing will rise. You know, like Cali, everybody at first when it's hit, oh my goodness, the fires in California. Oh, you know, that's the talk of the town. As soon as it starts dying down, people are kind of like, relax. All right, let's move on to the next. Oh, boom, they give you something else. You know? So it's going to be constant stress on the American people. And all these things are going to be depleting your resources, right? Leading you into the summer of famine. And also changes that are coming in regards to your so-called liberties and freedoms. All these things that happen, the more they happen, as they happen, it'll be less and less of your freedoms that you have. Okay, because now they have to fix these problems. All right. And in order for them to fix these problems, remember, the ultimate goal is you own nothing and you be happy. So the people in California, they lose their homes through fire. Now they can't come back. They can't rebuild. The government or the state is going to have to do it. You know, they will do that. They will do the rebuilding. All right. So continuing, it says, a Pentagon official said the counterintelligence field activities Talon program, Talon, Talon, has amassed files on anti-war protesters. Okay. Shortly after Bush orchestrated 9/11, he issued Military Order Number 1. This is quotes, right? Which empowered him to detain any non-citizen as an international terrorist or enemy combatant. Guess what? Today, that order extends to U.S. citizens as well. Okay? And it goes into the building up of these camps, okay, by a company known as Halliburton. Okay, Halliburton subsidiary. All right, and they were in charge of building these sea camps, okay, for so-called FEMA. All right, it says, why exactly are prisons being built for the, quote, rapid development of new programs? Halliburton's company site confirms that the government is engaged in a massive construction and preparation exercise to build sea camps and prisoner processing facilities in the United States. Okay? This is particularly astonishing and disturbing considering that the U.S. already incarcerates more in orders of magnitude more people than any other nation, about on par with USSR at the height of Stalin's era. All right, if you know anything about Joseph Stalin, all right, he was a high-level dictator, all right, and we'll go into it another day, but just a quick point, all right, that I believe Trump is going to pretty much do a similar thing in history, right, just like what Stalin did, right, with imprisonment and executions and so on and so forth of his citizens, right? So let's continue. It says the contract of the Halliburton subsidiary KBR to build immigrant detention facilities is part of a long-term Homeland Security plan titled, quote, Endgame, which sets as its goal the removal of, quote, all removable aliens and potential terrorists, end quote. Okay? And there's a reason why they always need to have an excuse. There's a reason why they open up them borders, right? Which was done, again, by the previous administration, right? So now the current administration coming in will have to fix it, okay? And that will result in what is known as the New World Order agenda, all right? Because you have the thesis, right, which is Biden and them setting up the stage. You have the antithesis, which is Trump coming to fix what was broken. And by doing that, he will result in bringing in the synthesis, okay, which will be the solution. He is the one who brings the solution to all these problems, right? Salakia. Continuing, it says, in the 1980s, Richard Cheney and Donald Rumsfeld discussed similar emergency detention powers as part of a super-secret program of planning for what was euphemistically called, quote, continuity of government, which is COG or COGCON, okay, continuity of government, which they have the A team, which is the alpha team, they have the B team, the beta team, the C team, and so on and so forth, okay, which goes all the way down in case of an emergency. All right, the A teams consist of the president, the vice president, and so on and so forth. And I believe the B team consists of Congress and other people and part of the government. And then it goes on and on with the C team and so on and so forth. And it goes all the way down to the first so-called citizen. All right, in case there was an emergency and the A team, B team, C team, everybody got wiped out, then the first citizen will be the leader of the country at that point, right? In that state of emergency, if you will. All right, so that's continuity of government. But that's what they say, right? But we know continuity of government really is talking about when martial law is instituted, right? It says these men planned for suspension of the Constitution, not just after nuclear attack, but for any, quote, national security emergency, end quote, right? Which they vaguely defined in Executive Order 1265-6. of 1988. Okay, so this is going all the way back to 1988. All right, now let's read a little bit about Executive Order 12656. Okay, it says Executive Order 12656, titled Assignment of Emergency Preparedness Responsibilities. Okay, and when I said emergency, it just reminded me of the Priest Amawanga Bar's video he did, I believe it was yesterday, about how the DHS, I believe the FBI and the DHS, or the DOD, one of them, or two of them, were given basically a heads up that, there could be some form of attack, so be vigilant, you know what I mean? So they're already setting up the stage, but again, those things that will be happening will cause emergencies to come about, right? And through those emergencies, we're going to be seeing a lot of changes happen very, very quickly. All right, I'm talking 3 to 6 months type changes, because it's already set up. They just need the excuse to actually start, bringing it in. Okay, so it says Executive Order 12656, titled Assignment of Emergency Preparedness Responsibilities, was issued to enhance national security emergency preparedness. It requires federal departments and agencies to develop plans for performing critical functions during emergencies that seriously degrade or threaten the national security of the United States, including natural disasters, military attacks, technological emergencies, right? That's going into some form of blackout, right? Social media is down all through other states. Cell phone services are down all through other states. Banks are down all through other states, right? That kind of thing. Technological emergencies, right? Okay. It says, or other significant events. I wonder what that is. Significant events, right? Okay. It says the order authorizes increased federal control, right, over American life. That leads us right to those FEMA executive orders, right? Instructing each federal department and agency to develop plans to set priorities and allocate resources among civilian and military claimants. This ensures that necessary resources are available and allocated effectively during emergencies. Okay? So that's a little bit on Executive Order 12656, okay, which was brought out back in 1988. Okay, so 4 years after Rex 84. All right, Readiness Exercise 1984. Okay, it says over 800 concentration camps, or I said a word, damn it, C camps, are reported throughout the United States, all fully operational and ready to receive U.S. prisoners who disagree with the government. You see, that's where we are now. It's not where we're headed. That's where we are. Okay? So definitely things are about to happen that's going to piss a lot of Americans off, and they're not going to be down with it. So they're going to revolt. And this is how they're gonna determine who gets to live and who gets to die. Okay? You comply, you good to a degree. You don't comply, you be deemed a terrorist and they're coming after you. Okay? It says the C camps are all staffed and manned by full-time guards. However, they are all empty. They're waiting for people, bodies. These camps are to be operated by FEMA when martial law is implemented in the United States. When, not if, but when. Right? And this is going to be done at the stroke of a presidential pen and the Attorney General's signature on a warrant. The camps are railroad facilities, or have railroad facilities, as well as roads leading to and fro the detention centers or facilities. Many have airports. Like Auschwitz, some of the camps have airtight buildings and furnaces. Interesting. The majority, that's crazy. I remember this. This had to be, I say, a long time ago. I had a dream about this. That they had in the C camps, they had like brick buildings, but it was like they had concentration. Damn, they had showers, right? They had showers that people were being put in those showers, and then when they opened the shower, it was gas coming out, and the people would die in there. And when I walked in there, in the dream, when I walked in, all you see was bones, like just straight bones. You didn't see no flesh or none of that. It was just bones like packed on top of each other. I was like, yo, what? Like, how long has this been going on? You know, that kind of thing. But this was years ago. I remember this from years ago. But it says, so when it says furnaces, right? So people are going to be getting burnt up, cooked. You know, that's what you use a furnace for, right? So could we see a replay of what happened in Babylon with the three holy children, right? You could see that. There's no new thing under the sun. You know, you're going to see powerful spiritual powers being done, right? Faith provokes miracles, okay? And trouble, all right, accelerates or increases your faith, which provokes those miracles, all right? Because when you're in trouble, you just go you just go straight to what you know, all right? What you believe and what you know, you know. And then it reminds me of the dream that the brother had. And it wasn't really a dream. It was actually an encounter with Satan, spiritual demon Satan. Okay. And, you know, when he was in trouble in the dream or in the encounter, you know, he went straight to what he knew, which was the names of Yahweh wa Yahushua. Okay. And the Lord gave him strength to resist and fight and stand strong. You know what I mean? So that's how we gonna also go through, all right, these troubling times that are ahead of us, you know. So there's a time like never before. We definitely gonna need that spirit, man. We're gonna need it. Okay. It says the majority of the camps can each house a population of 20,000 prisoners. 20,000. It's a lot of people. Currently, the largest of these facilities is just outside of Fairbanks, Alaska. The Alaskan facility is a massive mental health facility and can hold approximately 2 million people. All right. Mental health. We've been hearing that a lot, right? So that's another of those buzzwords or buzz phrases, all right, that they've been using to diagnose people and shit like that, right? So if they put you or put that label on you, you know where you're going. It says, following the Halliburton subsidiary announcement on January 24th that it had been awarded a $385 million contingency contract by the Department of Homeland Security to build detention camps. 2 weeks later, on February 6, Homeland Security Secretary Michael Chertoff announced that the fiscal year 2007 federal budget would allocate over $400 million to add 6,700 additional detention beds, an increase of 32% over the 2006. Wow. What is interesting in the Homeland Security plan is that each concrete prison or prison bed costs $60,000 per bed. Damn. Well, what type of bed is this? $60,000 per bed? This is what they're using all this money for? Millions of dollars to why they need? What kind of bed is this? It's $60,000. There's got to be something more to that. If that's true, there's got to be something more to that. We'll find out in due season, in due time. Right, it says, observing these sea camps and general jail and prison facilities throughout the U.S., the Homeland Security plan is clearly buffered to build significantly more than 6,700 additional beds. There's a quote from a 20-year naval intelligence / CIA under Bush Sr., Michael Mulally says, "Oh, all of us in the CIA know all about the sea camps in America and their purpose. We all know that their purpose is to terminate resistors of the New World Order under martial law." See? So when they come with their bullshit, anyone who says, nah, I'm not with it, whether it be the health department sector, whether it be economically, whatever it is, digital IDs, you know, whatever. If you resist, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It says, former inspector for Joint Chiefs of Staff explains how U.S. citizens will be rounded up and sent to death camps. The plans and camps mirror Hitler's SS plans and implementations, correlating with the strong ties between the Bushes The Bushes and Hitler. Oh, okay, something interesting right there. It says Military Commissions Act. The enactment of concentration. Oh, goodness, I keep saying the word. Sea camps in the U.S. and the ability of the president to throw whoever he wants in the camps without question. Ooh. This act is one of the most extraordinarily outrageous attempts to pass unconstitutional law and is the greatest assault on the U.S. Constitution imaginable. All involved in the commission of this unlawful act have committed high treason against the U.S. and should be immediately prosecuted. But you see, that's not going to happen because those who should be prosecuting are also part of the plan. See, when Klaus Schwab said that they penetrate the cabinets, he wasn't kidding when he said that. Okay, and it's playing out now, both sides, right, including your man Trump. All right, apparently he's about to go for a WEF Davos 2025 meeting, and it's going to be done virtually. I wonder why. Peter Holt has been saying that day one, there's going to be about 5 different, problems. Let's just put it that way. Okay, he gave about 5 different problems that will be happening under Trump's watch. Okay, so could that be something that extends into the coming months, where everything is going to go virtual? You know, the virtual world is going to be revived again because people are under lockdowns. We'll see. It says, and yet another. Oh, so but going back to the point I was making, that it's not going to be something that they could prosecute. Number one, based on the reason I gave. Number two, it's been building up for years, right? So one administration comes in, they set it up, then they pass it over to the next, and then they set it up, and then they pass it over to. So it's been building for years. So who are you going to start with? Who are you going to go back to? It's not going to happen. Okay, the system is so corrupt and so broken, right, that clearly it's a system against people, and the people are waking up to that. So then soon it's going to be the military versus citizens. It's just that simple. Okay. And this is just like any other totalitarian government. They always use the military against the people. All right, go back in the history and just read about it. We might just do videos on it just to bring it out, you know? It says, in yet another astonishingly treasonous act, the U.S. administration has eliminated yet another key check to control out-of-control government. The 1878 Posse Comitatus Act. Wow. And what is that? There's an act that abolished the U.S. Or the use of the U.S. military against their own citizens since 1878 has also been wiped out. Okay, this act, which protected citizens through World War I, World War II, the Vietnam War, the Korean War, and the Great Depression, is considered by the current administration as unnecessary and a hindrance to the government's ability to prosecute inside the U.S. Okay, it says, I'm going to skip a little bit of this here. Right here. Who's a T? Carefully consider what officials are defining as a Tist in the U.S. For example, quote, defenders of the U.S. Constitution against federal government and the United Nations, end quote. Those are the ones who are deemed T or Teists. In this case, we got domestic T's. Okay? Let's see. All right. I think I'm gonna pause here. Okay. I'm gonna read a little bit of this, and I'm gonna pause here, and then I'm gonna pick it up. I'll probably do a part 2, Lord willing, tomorrow. I just don't want to make the video too long. It's a lot. It's a lot. All right. So I don't want to overwhelm anyone with all this information here. All right. But let's read a little bit about the Sea Camp rail cars, right? FEMA ordered 107,000 Automax prison cars from Gunderson Steel modified from original FEMA design to carry automobiles. This apparently wanted people to become accustomed to seeing these rail cars, so they would just think they were hauling autos, meaning cars, right? Vehicles. They got temporary prison. These people. The Homeland Security $400 million allocation is more than a fourfold increase over the fiscal year 2006 budget, which provided $90 million for the same purpose. Both the contract and the budget allocation are in partial fulfillment of an ambitious 10-year Homeland Security Strategic Plan, codenamed Endgame, authorized in 2003. Okay, you see how it says 10-year strategic plan? Because that's Esau right there. All right, everything he does, he has a short-term plan and a long-term plan. Short-term goals, long-term goals. Right, so a lot of things that sometimes we might bring out, people be like, oh, but y'all was saying this, da da da. Yeah, we were saying this for years because those were the long-term goals, right? Going into Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, right? Martial law, right? Literally been in a police state, a surveillance state, all these different things. Those are things that we were warning about for years, really starting from our apostles and elders of Great Millstone on down, okay, the bishops and so on and so forth, okay? That they've been blowing the trumpets of warning for years. See? And now we're starting to see those warnings or those trumpets that were being sounded. Okay, they're being slowly put down because the things are happening. It's happening. See? So very soon the Lord's going to take his men out the streets, men out the way, and then the judgment going to reign. But Esau always has his long-term goals and his short-term goals. All right, and they all play out eventually in due time. Okay, it says, according to a 49-page Homeland Security document on the plan, Endgame expands a, quote, mission first articulated in the Alien and Sedition Acts of 1798, end quote. Its goal is the capability to remove all removable aliens, including illegal economic migrants, aliens who have committed criminal acts, asylum seekers. We've heard that one many times, right? They always, the asylum seekers. They are required to be retained by law or potential theists. The government's definition of an enemy combatant covers almost any individual who promotes the rudimentary rights guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution. There you go. Okay? So if you are pro-Constitution, pro-freedom, pro-gun rights, pro-anti, government overreach, anti-Esau, and so on and so on, you will be deemed a domestic T. Okay? And hence the enemy combatant. Remember, they came out and said, I believe it was Jimmy Graham, since years ago, he said that the American homeland has become the battlefield. See what I'm saying? If that's the battlefield, then who are you going to battle against? The American people. All right. So I'm gonna leave off on the article here. I'll pick it back up, Lord willing, tomorrow. We'll go into a different part of it. All right. It goes into, Rex 84 and the red list, blue list, extermination plans that they have. All right. So I'm gonna get a quick precept here, and then we're gonna close it out. Okay, because we in those times. We are in those times. All right. There's a book of Ezekiel, chapter 33 and verse 33. It says, and when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come. Then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them. Right? You were warned. You got that warning. Okay. The prophets are the ones who are able to see these things before they happened and gave warning. And some will listen, but others, most will not. And it'll be to their own downfall. All right. Let's get this last one here, and then we out of here. Get this Ezekiel 12. All right. There's a book of Ezekiel, chapter 12. Jump down to verse 22. It says, Son of man, what is that proverb that ye have in the land of Israel, saying the days are prolonged and every vision faileth? Tell them, therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh power, I will make this proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel, But say unto them, the days are at hand. What days? The evil days. All right, the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay? And the effect of every vision. So everything that happens, you got things that's written in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, the 15th chapter, the 14th chapter, all right, the 6th chapter, okay, going into a lot of troubles, okay. Some of the troubles were highlighted by Yahushua, all right, wars and rumors of wars, being betrayed by your family members, you know, famines, pestilences, right, all these different things, okay. That's all what? Sorrows, beginning of sorrows, right. In the book of Luke, I believe it says great perplexity upon the nations, okay, right. So that's the times that we're in, the time of evil, okay. It says verse 24, Ezekiel 12:24, it says, for there shall be no more any vain vision nor flattering divination within the house of Israel. For I am the Lord Yahweh, I will speak, and the word that I shall speak shall come to pass, right? Right? A sword is being sharpened and ready to be given to the hand of the slayer. All right, we're going to get that last. All right. It says, I will speak, and the word that I shall speak shall come to pass. It shall be no more prolonged, for in your days, O rebellious house, will I say the word and will perform it, saith the Lord Yahweh, thy power. Okay, so that's a nice one right there. Actually, let me see. Let's get a little bit more on this. All right, verse 26. It says, again, the word of the Lord Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, behold, they of the house of Israel say, the vision that he seeth is for many days to come, and he prophesieth of times that are far off. And we've been talking about the destruction. We've been talking about the sea hip coming out. We've been talking about martial law. We talked about all these things. And most people, oh, yeah, I've been talking about this. They live their lives like they don't even consider, which is crazy. All right, verse 28, it says, therefore say unto them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh power, there shall none of my words be prolonged any more, but the word which I have spoken shall be done, saith the Lord power. All right. In the NLT, it says, therefore tell them, this is what the sovereign Lord says, no more delay. I will now do everything I have threatened. Ooh. I, the sovereign Lord, have spoken. Man. Yes, sir. He has spoken indeed. Okay. Now let's get last precept here. In the book of Ezekiel, chapter 21. And verse 8, it says, again, the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, say, a sword is sharpened and also furbished. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? It contemneth the rod of my son as every tree. And he hath given it to be furbished, that it may be handled. This sword is sharpened, and it is furbished to give it into the hand of the slayer. Okay, so that's exactly what the Lord has in store for the inhabitants of Babylon. Okay, and pretty much around the world. All right, and so Jacob's trouble is fast approaching. Okay, this has been the siege of Jerusalem in Babylon. I'm ended off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rachak Wadash. Lord willing, you're edified and informed. And until next time, Shalom.
As I have gotten older, I have decided we really need camps for adults. And we need the kind of camps that you all run. I mean, really, where, none of the serious stuff, none of the, life challenge stuff, more fun. I think we have a huge fun deficit in America. And we need to figure out how to fill that fun deficit, certainly for our kids, but also for the rest of us. We've become, in so many ways, a country that has slowly but surely figured out how to get along with more people from more backgrounds, but there are still differences that we need to get over. I said the other day at an event that, we're much less racist, sexist, homophobic, all of those things. But we sure don't want to spend time with anybody who we disagree with politically. I mean, that is just too stressful. So, maybe mix it up a little bit. You can have the red cabin, the blue cabin, have to come together and actually listen to each other. Wouldn't that be a novel idea? And sort of create this much more open dialogue opportunity, which I would like to see more of in our country.